Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Doubtfull here. Today I'm going to be recording a beginner guide for Fiddlesticks. I'm going to be giving you everything you need to know. I'm going to be running through all of the abilities, the clear, the build, everything you need to know. And at the end of all of it, I'm going to do a gameplay review and show you guys what it all should look like put together. If you find this kind of video useful, please give the video a like. It would help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so to get started here, the first thing I want to talk about is Fiddlesticks passive, which essentially, for the most part, just turns your trinket space into an effigy, a scarecrow effigy. And when I drop this, it basically looks like me to the enemy. Like, to me it looks a little bit different, but it looks like this to the enemy. It has no HP bar, and it serves as a ward. You can see it's going to give me vision into that brush. And then when I hit level 6, let's see here. All right, and now once I hit level 6 here, you can see that it also turns into a sweeper, and it sweeps in that area and blocks vision, which is really useful for Fiddlesticks' kit. Now, believe it or not, this is actually one of the strongest things about Fiddlesticks. I usually have one of the highest vision scores in the game, and you can really, really control the map with all of your effigies. It's on a really low cooldown later on in the game, and it's a really strong part of Fiddlesticks' kit. All right, so next I want to talk about Fiddlesticks' ability Q, Terrify. Now what this does is it fears a target. It's point and click, and it fears a target. The higher the ability level, the longer it fears them for, and it also deals damage based on their current health. Your Q damage will actually double if the target has recently been terrified, which comes into play later with a combo that I'm going to show you. Okay, now perhaps Fiddlesticks' most signature ability would be his W, his Drain, and that simply drains everything nearby, and it heals me for a portion of the damage dealt. And when the Drain finishes, if it finishes, it will deal bonus damage based on missing health, and it will also heal me for a lot. And you're going to use this a lot when clearing camps, and it's going to look something like this. You'll kind of see how much I can heal off of it. Heals quite a bit. So that's probably Fiddle's one of his most signature abilities, and good to know. Now Fiddlesticks' E is Reap, and it's sort of this AoE ability here. You can see a hitbox, and it just slows people. But if you do manage to land your E in this little circle here, it will also silence them, which is a crucial part of our kit, which I will show you in the combo coming up here. Okay, everyone, the last thing I want to talk about with Fiddlesticks is his combo, so I'm going to run through this really quickly. The Q here that I didn't mention before is that it has a passive where if I damage somebody when I'm unseen, it fears them for 1 second. So if I do this, it's going to get feared. Now, you see this circle around here is until this timer runs out, I cannot fear them again. So if I E, it only silences, it doesn't fear. Now, as soon as it runs out, you'll see right there, I can E, and it'll fear. Now, when I've recently feared somebody and I can't fear them again, the circle here, when I Q, it deals double damage. You'll see it shows that sort of crit animation. So that's an important part to know about the combo. Now, the full combo, basically I'm going to ult over this wall. My R damage is going to proc my fear because it can't see me. Then I'm going to Q for the double fear damage. Then I'm going to silence to increase the duration that they can't like respond to anything, the chain CC. And then I'm going to drain. So it's going to end up looking something like this. And you just drain while they're CC'd. Now, the more points you have in Q, the longer they're gonna be feared for, and if you wanna get like really fancy with it, you can sort of hold your silence for a second to layer the CC better so that they can't move for a longer duration of time. But the basics are just like this. You'll do it every single time. It's very easy. And this is how you get those big sort of wombo combo ults that you'll see. I'll put a few more dummies for effect, but you just, a lot of times you're like sweeping the area before you go. So like I would use a pink ward or my sweeper here, make sure they can't see me. Then you ult over the wall, fear the most important target, maybe throw out your E and drain. And that's it. That's all you really do for the Fiddlesticks combo. Okay, so now I want to talk about the items for Fiddlesticks. Now this is something that's subject to change throughout the year. So if you're watching this video like way after I've posted it, I will include my Mobafire guide in the description, and also you can just join my Discord and ask what items to build, because it's very possible that that has changed. But as of the time of making this video, basically what you're gonna be doing always is rushing Sork Shoes. I buy that pretty much first every single game. Helps you get around the map faster, helps you clear faster, gives you really good damage. After that, as far as mythics go, you've really got Well, you've got a few options, but I think the main two that you're going to be going with are Hextech Rocket Belt, especially if you're the only AP source on your team, or Leandri's Anguish if you're against a tank or two that you need to deal with. Maybe if there's just one like mega tank and you don't really have anyone in your team that deals with tanks very well, this is a really good purchase. So I'll just go Rocket Belt because that's the one you're most often going to be buying. Now, next up, these recommendations are actually pretty good. A lot of Fiddlesticks players will rush Zhonya's second. A very strong option on Fiddle because it helps people basically not kill you, lets you go for these crazy ultimates. Really good item, really good item. So a lot of times you're going to be building that second. From here, you've got some options. I pretty much never build Demonic Embrace, but it actually is another really good tank killer item and is pretty solid on Fiddlesticks for sure if you're into multiple tanks. If you really need the anti-heal, you can go Morello's. If you have a bunch of AP people on your team and they're stacking MR, Void Staff is a fantastic option always. Death Cap, if you're really fed, is good. I always build a Dark Seal. I didn't mention that earlier, but I pretty much always go a Dark Seal if I have the gold for it on my recall. So that's a really good option. And I don't often turn this into Medjai's, but you can. And that's pretty much it as far as the items. Oh yeah, Banshee's Veil. I build Banshee's Veil a lot when I'm against like AP threats that are pretty annoying. It's really nice, helps you keep from getting caught out, and it's just a really strong item in general. Really good. So that's pretty much it for the items. Again, if you aren't sure what to build, maybe it's been a while since this video has been out, join my Discord, check out the Mobafire guide link below. Both, you should be able to find the answer to that too. Okay, so now I want to show you what runes to take on Fiddlesticks. Now, this is the standard rune page that I and a lot of the high elo fiddles run pretty much every single game. If I'm the only AP source in my team or I'm against a bunch of squishies, a lot of times I'll take Sudden Impact for that magic penetration. That's if I'm going to be building Protobelt, because magic penetration is sort of more valuable the more you have of it. But generally speaking, I mean, this is a page that's always going to work for you. I know people are going to ask, so I'll mention these other pages. Predator is a decent page. I used to run Predator on Fiddle. I like it, but personally, I've just found that Electrocute's more consistent, and it's the way that I like to play Fiddlesticks. But Predator is a viable option, as is Dark Harvest. But Dark Harvest can be a little unreliable, and yeah, I'm just more about the Electrocute page. So that is what I recommend, and that's pretty much it for the runes. Okay, so next up, I'm going to be showing you how to clear. This is probably going to be the thing that basically 99% of Fiddlesticks players do wrong, and it's honestly the most important thing. Doing this clear correctly is the difference between like a really like an average Fiddlesticks player and a really good one. It makes a huge difference, but it does take a lot of practice to do this right. It's probably the hardest thing, like unironically one of the hardest things about playing Fiddlesticks, but I think if you practice it in the practice tool, anybody can do it. I really do think that. So I'm going to show you how to do the clear. To go into a bit of depth though, to start off, I pretty much always buy a health potion and a control ward, and I use this control ward. I drop it like as late as possible, but I use it to control my entrances so I know if I'm getting invaded. I think a lot of people say that Fiddlesticks' weakness is getting invaded in the early game, but if you do this correctly, I've never actually died to an invade ever. Like it can be kind of annoying and mess you up if they go to the side that you're not on. But pretty much nobody can invade you because you clear too fast, as long as you're not making some like really bad mistake. If you're against a jungler that can like level 2 invade you, then you might want to not start on your blue. But that's really it. So let's show you the clear. I'm going to start off on this side. The fastest clear is always going to be starting on your blue. Now, the point that I want to make is that this sort of spot right here, you see how this makes a V? This is where I'm going to be like focused on, right there. Okay, so now when this spawns, I'm not gonna be too worried about like timing because I just want to do this kind of slow for you. But when this spawns, I usually auto this 3 times while kiting towards my blue. And then I drain when I'm in range of the blue. I click on that spot that I mentioned earlier. And then I auto this, drain, auto this. I can click on it. I need it to be like at like 230 for it to die to my drain. So we'll drain again. We're level 2. I walk over here, use my E to aggro the Gromp, and then I will drain. I usually smite Gromp here, and then for the rest of the time, I just auto Gromp. If you're worried, like maybe you messed up, you can use a potion here to survive, but you don't need it if you do it correctly. And we'll just drain again and kill that. Okay? So now we're level 3. You're level 3 way before anyone else in the game. Nobody can match that clear speed. And then you're going to walk over here. I think if you hit that blast cone, it's actually a little bit faster. But now we go over here. And I'm going to auto this Raptor. I'm going to stand right at this spot, use my E to aggro the red. And as soon as I see it, I can W. If you get the timing right, you could probably W a little bit earlier. I usually auto that like 2 more times, and then we'll drain again. And I will start walking over here, get my 3 autos, get the drain in. And I will walk over here, aggro Krugs, walk towards Krugs, and drain. Drain, as long as you're draining like immediately when that goes to red, like it's patience bar, immediately when that goes to red, then you should be okay. And then we will use E here, auto 1, drain, then auto the other. And you see, I'm a little bit behind, like Scuttle just spawns, but that's because I was talking for a bit at the start. But normally you're right here, like right as Scuttle spawning, and you show up to Scuttle. Because I reset the game, it's weird, but you show up to Scuttle and you use your E, auto, Q, W, smite, and you'll one-shot it. And then you're usually, it's like 320, 325 right there when you're doing that. And that's a really, really good time. You clear faster than most junglers in the game, especially if you're playing in lower MMR. You'll be way ahead of everyone. And then by the time you do this, you can maybe look for a gank if it's available, or you can start heading back to your wolves, because since you did that camp first, it's up sooner than like it normally would be. And you can just do your wolves when they spawn, and then head over to your Gromp, do that. You'll have like 1100 gold after that, which is perfect for a Sork boot rush by. And then you can go down, do your Raptors, do your Krugs, and then you're like 1 or 2 camps from 6. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But that's pretty much how you want to start out on Fiddlesticks. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you what the other side of the map looks like, because it's important that you can do both. Okay, so I think this side is actually a little bit trickier than the other side. It's very easy to mess up. The point that we're going to want to be clicking on here is, you see this sort of V in the grass here? We're going to click right there always. So we'll start off by autoing this 3 times while kiting towards blue, and we will drain when we get in range, and then click on our spot. And you can see it's very, very close. The wolves are 1 tick away from resetting. It's very, very easy to mess this one up. This is probably a side that I recommend practicing a lot to make sure you don't mess up. If you do mess up this clear, you're going to be very far behind. And yeah, just definitely something you don't want to do. It's very, very important to practice this clear. I probably have spent hours doing this clear, and even I still make mistakes every once in a while. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, we're just gonna drain these, then head over here. It's pretty similar to the last clear after that, just that start is a little different. I'm gonna teleport across here to make sure I don't take any damage. And we are going to auto this, stand right around there. I don't really have a specific spot to stand here. This side's pretty easy to mess up because these raptors get in your way and can mess up your pathing. But that's okay. Get that. And then we're gonna drain 1 more time. I'm gonna auto it 1 more time to make sure I don't mess this up. And as long as we're draining like right as that's about to turn red, we should be fine. It gets close. You can see how close it gets. But again, that's why you practice this a lot. Auto that 2 more times. They're actually kind of in a weird spot. There we go. And then drain these. And right about now, Scuttlecrab should be spawning. I did some weird things, so Scuttlecrab's not going to spawn. But it'll be here. And again, you just E, Q, auto, W, smite, and yeah, that'll kill it. Okay, wait, it's coming back up. I'll do it. You want to stand kind of close to it. But that will kill it, and you'll be pretty much ahead of everyone. And you're just going to do the same thing from here. Go back down, do your wolves, do your gromp, base, buy Sork shoes, do that, do that. And that's pretty much going to be like your ideal start on Fiddlesticks every game. It's not always going to happen. Sometimes you're going to get invaded. Sometimes you're going to need to help out your team. But that's generally speaking what you're going to be trying to do at least every game. All right, now we're going to be jumping into a high elo. This is like GM Challenger game that I just recently played. And I'm just going to be sort of just going to be going through it kind of like a VOD review, showing you what Fiddlesticks looks like actually played in a real game. And hopefully this is going to be helpful for you. I walk up here as sort of a standard 5-man start to see where the enemy jungler is going to go, like watch out for an invade and prepare to drop my wards. I'm against Lilia this game. This is a really, really good matchup for Fiddlesticks, by the way. basically you just jump onto her and one-shot her because she's really squishy, and she doesn't really have like a clean MR item that she can build early. She can't really go mercs. I mean, she can, but most won't build Mercury Treads. And Banshee's Veil, she's not going to get into like a third item at the soonest. But you'll see I dropped 2 wards here. I really like this ward. Okay, so this actually gets cleared here. But this ward pretty much never gets cleared. Nobody checks this. And it usually stands here for like the entire game until I buy another control ward. And it'll reveal the jungler when they go for this Scuttle Crab, because I'm usually going to go for this Scuttle Crab. And it'll also reveal if they go for some sort of weird invader gank. And then this covers my red. So we're going to start here as I showed earlier. Auto that 3 times, drain, go to my secret spot here, over here. Again, pretty close. These clears are always so close. I haven't messed this up in a very long time, but I'm guarantee I will mess it up again sometimes, and that's just how it is. It's hard to do. But Lilia, I want to say we aren't positive where she started here, so this clear that I do on Fiddlesticks does require a lot of focus, so it sometimes can be difficult to figure out where the enemy jungler started if I lose focus or something and I don't look at the lanes right away. So right now, I'm not going to go back and I mean, I guess actually we can see what she did. It looks like it's Lilia. She did a leashless clear. This is something that LCS junglers, I've seen them do. They'll do like a leashless Raptor start, then go to Krugs, then go to red. Looks like that's what she's doing here. I didn't know it at the time of this game, but I'm just going to keep doing my own clear here. Now, something I didn't mention earlier is that you're basically always going to be AFK clearing to 6 on Fiddlesticks. That's how you play this champion, okay? Like, your teammates, I don't really do this anymore, but something you can do is honestly just tell your team, like hey, you're not going to have a jungler until I'm level 6. That's just how it is. And you know, it comes like it's a trade-off. You're not a jungler to level 6, you're not ganking to level 6, but then when you are ganking, you're like, you have some of the best ganks, if just not straight up the best ganks in the game. So something to keep in mind, something you can tell people if you want. You're probably gonna get pinged for like people asking for ganks and stuff like that, and honestly you should almost always ignore them. I mean, I will go for early ganks from time to time if it's in my clearing path, but I will not like butcher my path to help my teammates. You just can't do that. You can't do it on Fiddlesticks. So I do my full clear. It's 320. I'm heading over to Scuttle Crab here. I'm gonna end up running into Lilia here, but I've got bot prio, so she has to back off. Dodge that, and we'll just do the one-shot combo. Now I really want to go for top scuttle if I can. I don't know. I'm assuming she's gonna rush over to top scuttle at the time of this game. That's what I thought. But actually, her Raptors spawn here because she started her Raptors. If you're a Lilia aficionado, that's like the benefits. This is the benefit of starting Raptors. So you can basically, in a perfect world, she would have done this Scuttle Crab and then done her Raptors right away. But I'm able to go over here. I actually saved my smite. I don't think I smited that because I wanted to save it for this one. So even though he's got top prio and Lilia's right here, I mean, she actually almost could have stolen that. I don't know if she has smite or not. She's got 3 charges of smite, which means that she does not have smite. Okay, fun fact, little tip. You can tab and see how like the number on this and know if they have smite or not. I've never actually used this in game, but in VOD review, it works. If you're really good in game, maybe you can make it work. Figure out if they have smite for Scuttle Crab. But yeah, she didn't have smite, so I was able to get that Scuttle Crab. It was a little risky, but I did get it, so that's nice. Now, I know that she's probably on my Gromp here, but my Malphite's pushed in. They've got a Nocturne with Ignite. Like, I don't really want to mess with that, and it's just not the end of the world. I got double Scuttle. It doesn't really matter if she takes my Gromp. So I just take this, and I think I just go on and keep clearing like Fiddlesticks wants to. I'm a little bit too fast because I didn't do my Gromp. I'm a little bit too fast. My Raptors actually aren't up yet. So let's see, what do I end up doing? I think maybe I looked up maybe go mid or something, but I decided there was nothing to do. So we just go back and do our Raptors on spawn. I'm probably telling my team at this point that Lilia is gonna go to her Krugs after this. That would be my guess. Alternatively, I guess she could go to her Wolves, but... All right, we see Rel here, but he's so far pushed up that I wanna go for this. So yeah, I know earlier I said I pretty much don't gank until level 6, but in free situations like this where he has CC set up, I have Flash, I have CC, she's kind of low on HP, he has Ignite, like this just looked like a free gank to me. So I do go for them occasionally, as long as they're in my path to clearing, right? Like if this was top lane, I obviously wouldn't like leave my Raptors and go top. Like I only did this because it's right in my path of what I want to do. And we can just flash Q. We weren't able to perfectly lay our CC, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. And one of the reasons why it's okay to do this is because afterwards you can help shove the wave and get XP. which is nice. It's almost like you cleared a camp. I only got like 3 minions there, so that kind of sucked. But I think I'm gonna end up walking all the way down here and doing my Krugs before I reset. I could have just recalled right away, and that would have been okay. I like this better. I don't know what my pathing is here. I think I misclicked or something. I was streaming at this time, so maybe I wasn't that focused. I don't know. But I'm going to smite this to clear a bit faster. If you're going to use your smite, usually you want to smite before either the W last tick happens, because the W tick does damage equal to, well, bonus damage based on its missing health. So we're going to recall. Man, this skin is creepy. Usually I use the Christmas skin. I like it better, but this one's creepy. We see Oriana here, but I'm recalled. I'm out of here. It's kind of risky for my team to be making a play when I'm basing. Like in competitive, like this would never happen. But in solo queue, you know, this shit happens. Or this. But yeah, they're just doing a fight that they probably shouldn't be taking. Like I just recalled. I have Sork Shoot. Like this fight's just not really good for us at all. But is what it is. I'm 1 camp from 6, so I want to contest the Scuttle Crab because it gives me 6, but it's really like it's really questionable. I can't believe I did this, but I do want to go for this fight. I guess they just used I'm thinking maybe they used a bunch of stuff, so it's fine. Actually, right now what I'm thinking is I really want to hit level 6. I would like to smite the Scuttle Crab, but unfortunately Lily ends up getting it and hitting level 6. This is just a crazy fight that I probably honestly shouldn't have even taken, but I guess solo queue's crazy sometimes. Now I'm thinking, okay, let's do Dragon. If I kill Dragon, then I'll hit level 6. I basically just really want to hit level 6 in this fight. That's like what I'm trying to do. I thought I'd be able to get it off the Scuttle Crab, but we're gonna go for this instead. And we take that. And we're chasing. I'm level 6. This is great. I see them here, so I'm gonna pause real quick. I see them all here, so I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm ulting over this wall. I think they didn't realize that I hit 6 off of Dragon, I'm guessing, because they kind of stick around. And we go in, we get the triple fear, the silence, the drain. Perfect, that's a triple kill. This is high elo, I swear. I know some people watching this are probably like, lol, NA, or something like that. But I mean, this stuff happens in game and in any elo. Maybe like really high challenger, that probably wouldn't have worked. But because Lily is dead, I decided to go for this. Honestly, this is really risky. Man, I don't do my own VOD reviews that often. Only really when I make these type of videos. And I do stuff and I'm like, man, I am just a really risky player. I mean, that's amazing for, like, that's so good for me. He didn't even see me, so I did get these 2 camps. He loses both. I mean, that is just, Lilia is fuming right now. That's huge. But if Rel had come over, like maybe there was a ward somewhere, or Rel just like sniffed out the play, she could have come over and like really messed me up there. But she didn't, so. It's always the best feeling when you can do 2 camps at the same time, like later on in the game. It just feels so efficient. So we're doing these 2 camps, and I'm sitting on a ton of gold right now. Oh, tell me that doesn't. Okay. God, I scare myself with this gameplay. Fiddlesticks, the most terrifying part of Fiddlesticks is honestly just clearing. Just terrified all the time. And this recall, oh my god. Is one of my feet a wheel? I think it is. What a crazy champ. Anyways, so we base, and I decided to go for the Leandri's Anguish build this game because this guy's building HP. I know he's gonna go Sterix after that. This item's good against HP stackers, and then they also have Rel. So I decided to go for that. I don't know if that's correct, honestly. We don't have that much AP on our team. Protobelt would have been good here too, but we do go for the Anguish. I mean, it's not gonna be bad. Like, both items are good here. Fiddle has like a lot of really good mythics. Let's see. As soon as my ult's up, I want to make a play. It is up right now. I can't see anything here, so I can't really go for this. Nocturne ult is pretty OP. So I use my sweeper here to see if they have vision, and then I ult. Unfortunately, this was a little bit risky. This is kind of, I don't really like this play. I saw that he was getting caught in the minion, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for this. And I think we just get his flash, which is getting someone's flash isn't that bad. Okay, I totally forgot about this. So I Zanya's his fear here, and then we silence them all and drain. Trade 1 for 1, get the shutdown. I think they get a shutdown on me too, though. So not really worth it. Fiddlesticks ults are interesting because there's a 1.5 second channel on your ult, so you have to cast your ult where you think they're gonna be in 1.5 seconds, and sometimes that leads to getting burned. You know, I mean, sometimes you know, I go for ults and I just look really stupid, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think that's the saying. I don't know. I go for those all the time, and sometimes I end up looking really dumb. Maybe this is why I haven't hit Challenger yet. I'm like 2 games away at the time of making this video, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna finish clearing this up and just try to clear camps until my ult's up. I haven't talked about this yet, but the mid game of Fiddlesticks is basically just trying to clear really, really efficiently and then ulting whenever it's off of cooldown. Basically, clear jungle. If you have no ult, clear jungle. If you have ult, look for gank. And obviously you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to farm when you have ult because there's nothing available, but usually there's something you can do. There's like a dive you can make. There's something you can make happen. Because this champ is just so good at clearing waves. Malphite looks like he's forcing something bot. Weird. Malphite's off roll this game. But weird again because I have no ult. So, oh wait, I do have ult. Oh my god. I have so much CDR. You take Ultimate Hunters, so because I have so many kills, my ult's just up again. I feel like I just cast it. But this is an ult you can do across this wall here. I mean, it doesn't look very good to me. I wouldn't reach there. I would be like right here. My fear range is like maybe this radius right here. So it's kind of hard to get for me. Not really much for me to do. But there's not really much for me to do anywhere. Like my wolves are up, but Nocturne has full priority over my jungle. I don't want to walk into my jungle and get Nocturne jumping on me. So I honestly really have nothing to do here. Like I'm not getting Herald. I have absolutely nothing better to do than to just sit here. So we're just chilling, waiting for something to happen, hopefully. Dragon's spawning like 30 seconds, so that's kind of fine. How much gold do I have? I've got 1k gold, so I mean I could recall for like an amp tome or something. Or I think I need 1200 gold to finish my item when I have these two. I think that's what it is. My effigy, your effigy, like after it's been, I don't know like how long, but after it's been out for a while, it will block skill shots. You can't drop it to block skill shots. That would be really cool. I wish you could. See Lilia here. Immediately gonna run away. I don't want to deal with that. Got a control word here. Here. And it looks like a fight's happening top, so I'm sort of heading over here. Huh. Nice. Huh? Not nice. Oh, I remember this play now. Oh, that Malphite. I remember them flaming Malphite's ult, and I was like, oh, I didn't even see them all. So I go for an ult here because I know they don't have vision, or I think they don't have vision. I do that to see if they have vision. This is where they would normally place a ward. This looks pretty good. I'm jumping onto 2 people. Nocturne ult, I believe, is down, and I'm going to go for this Orianna, whose flash I think is still down from earlier. But Malphite ult's nothing. Yeah, I don't really like how I play this, actually. I think I should have... I don't think I used my Q or my E there. Let's just watch this one more time. I'm sorry if this is annoying for you guys, but... it's important to learn. Oh, so my Q and my E are off cooldown. That's kind of why this sucks, because I can't Q her to deal that bonus Q damage, and I can't E her either. And Rel just immediately jumps on me. She might have like tenacity in her runes or something. And I've only got 1 point in my Q at this point in the game, I think. Or maybe 2 points. I'm level, I can't tell what level I am, I'm dead. But anyways, I'm getting a little too much in the weeds here. That's a play that looked good, and you know, sometimes the plays look good and they just don't work out. Being a good fiddle player is, I'm sure, doing that better, like not making, like being able to have a better idea what plays are gonna be good, what plays are gonna be bad. Sometimes I just alt man and hope for the best though. And yeah. The more you play fiddle, the better idea you'll have of how those sort of plays are going to go. I think part of the problem was definitely that Malphite ult did nothing, but at the end of the day, it probably wasn't a good ult. I just, mainly because I didn't have my Q or my E, so I couldn't lock down that Orianna and do as much damage as I really wanted to there. So I remember that they placed a ward here, so we're going to clear this out and sort of look for this. I have no R available. Fiddlesticks is very weak without our ult, but for whatever reason, they're scared of us. I guess they don't have everyone here or something, and we're able to just sort of walk up and grab this dragon, which is nice. I feel like when I play Fiddle, I end up getting a lot of dragons usually. He can solo them pretty well, and he has decent pressure over them if his ult is up. I see them fighting mid, so I'm walking over here. My ult's up, so I'm just looking for stuff. Drop that to see if they have vision. Oh, this is just a gorgeous combo, actually. This is crazy. So they actually do have vision here. This is something that I'm glad this happened. This is fun. They have a ward right here, but I use my trinket. Even though I don't clear the ward, it still cancels the vision. So let's like watch this from their point of view. So, wow, interestingly enough, this actually doesn't show this corner. I don't even think I needed to sweep if I was standing right in this corner. So they're gonna see me here in a second. They see me here. I mean, crazy that they're still walking up when they see me, but whatever. We're not gonna get into that. So I sweep, and you can see that now that they can't see anything at all. Maybe they could see me. I don't know. The spectator's weird, but yeah, they can't see me. If you see these balloons that are going around their head right now, normally these are like crows with if you have no skin. This means that they're gonna get feared by my ult. Now I can only see this when I'm casting my ult, so it's like not that useful. As far as I'm aware, you can only see it when you cast your ult. But that's just a fun little informational bit. But yeah, that's how I know that my fear is going to work on them. Meaning my Q passive, it's gonna fear them when I ult in and deal damage. And yeah, we just Shane our CC really well right there. I remember when that happened, I was like, dude, what are these guys doing? They just really don't respect me at all. Unfortunately, our bot lane, I think, ends up getting caught. I think they both die here. Lilia's too fast. I want to say they get him too. All right, but anyways, I go and do Herald. Cool, I'm glad this happens too. Good stuff for me to talk about. I don't really like taking Herald on Fiddle. It's kind of awkward because the way your drain and hitting the eye works, it never seems to happen at the right intervals. So the intervals that I wish it would happen at, like the eye opening. And also, much worse than that is when you have the Herald, you can't drop your trinkets. And obviously your trinkets are extremely, or your effigies are extremely important for Fiddlesticks. And it's really bad to not be able to drop them. So whenever I take it, I'm always immediately just trying to drop it and get rid of it. And we're gonna do our camps at the same time here. I'm gonna speed up the game a little bit. Looks like nothing's gonna happen for a while here on the bottom screen here. So we're just gonna walk around and farm. My ult's almost up again. I might be farming for an item or something here. Let's see, how much gold do I have? 1,500. I'm trying to get Zanya's. Doesn't feel really good to base without getting the full item. Fiendish Codex, I don't know. Items aren't that important on Fiddle. Like a lot of your power is budgeted in like your CC, and your damage isn't always that important. It can be, but it doesn't matter that much. Like an O10 Fiddle is still fearing everyone for 2 seconds, right? So it's not the end of the world if I just sit on the map for a while. I'm gonna slow this down. I don't wanna get caught out. So in the mid game, it's really, really important to make sure that you're not getting caught out and people aren't jumping on you. That's how you mess up on Fiddlesticks. If people are ever jumping on you, you've done something horribly wrong and you're in trouble. You have to play very, very cautious because you're a champion with essentially no escapes. You've got your flash, which is 300 second cooldown ability, and only gets you so far. You have your E, which is a silence, whatever. You can try ulting away from people, but that takes 1.5 seconds. Your best defensive tool is actually your fear. So if somebody jumps onto you, as long as it depends who it is, but a lot of times your Q will save you and get you away. But yeah, you've got to be careful. You don't want to be jumped on. If you get caught, your team's going to be in some trouble. So we see that Malphite gets caught over here, and I'm walking over. And I just ult straight over. I'm surprised I did. Normally, whenever I ult, I always drop an effigy. Like I try to always have one effigy on me, so I can drop one and make sure they can't see me before I ult. But that wasn't anything super crazy there. We only really got the rel with our ult. We flashed in. You can R flash. Once you flash, you're not going to fear anybody with your damage because they can already see you. But you can sort of flash Q someone and still lock them up and get some damage. But we win that team fight, and I go ahead and drop Herald, get some gold here, take this wave. We're doing pretty well. Usually my farm on Fiddle is pretty good. I'm matching Lilia right now, and Lilia's also a really good farmer, so that's pretty good to see. And I'm just gonna speed this up. Looks like something's gonna happen. Nice to slow down again. I'm not a part of it, so who cares? Karma dies. I'm trying to posture for an ult there. I don't know if they'll keep chasing or not, so I sort of back up here and just do a fail ult. Let's show that one more time. So you always want to, like, the ideal situation is they're chasing your teammates and then you ult into them. That's like how you get the big ults. So I try to stand there for a second to see if they'll chase in, but they don't. I see Jinx there, so I try to ult and get onto her, but I end up getting locked up by some stuff, and it's not able to happen. Again, your ult has a really low cooldown in the late game, so you can kind of go for ults like that. That's what I tell myself, so I feel less bad about all my awful ults. Yeah, so we tried to all get onto them. You can use your ult to catch up to people. That works a lot. Oh, here's something cool. Unlike a regular sweeper, your sweeper only lasts for like 3 seconds or something. So if you're gonna clear a ward, you need to do it immediately. Auto the ward 3 times. Otherwise, it's gonna be gone and you're not gonna be able to clear it. So another fun fact, a little tip. Dragon spawning, so we're gonna run over here. Because we have Landry's Anguish, we actually take this even faster. That's another bonus point of taking this. I think it's a better farm item than Proto Bell, and it's also better at taking objectives. And we're just gonna keep farming. Ult is almost up again after our fail ult from earlier. We're gonna walk around and farm. And now we're in this dangerous dance in the late game. Remember that it's very, very easy for me to get caught. They've got a Nocturne that can just jump on me. My positioning is extremely important that I don't mess up. 1 Orianna ult, 1 Lilia ult, and I'm pretty much dead against their team. And we're posturing for a fight here. I'm in a pretty good spot. There's no way they can see me, but Malphite's sort of going in solo like a crazy person. He dies. Again, I'm back here. Notice I'm still looking for these ults. The ult opportunity. I see Lilia here. I really want to go on to Lilia. Let's look at her items real quick. Yeah, she doesn't have a stopwatch. She has no MR, no Merc Treads. So if I can get onto her, she also has a 500 gold shutdown. Maybe we can get Dragon. Nocturne engages here. Perfect for me. He's going to die. Who knows what else is going to happen. I'm probably looking at Lilia right now, I imagine. Yeah, see, I fear Lilia and silence her, and we're able to one-shot her. That's beautiful. I pop out, and even though my ult damage doesn't land on Lilia, I'm still able to get that fear, get that silence, and someone else follows up and just one-shots her. And after that, we get Baron. Fiddlesticks does Baron really well because you can heal up off of your drain. They just kill him. But yeah, you can see I'm like full HP now. Even if I had been tanking it, I would be pretty healthy at this point. The Jinxall comes in. By the way, Jinxall outsmites like any jungler in the game. It does like 3k damage if it's shot at the right time. So fun fact, if you're against a Jinx, I personally always forget this, but if you're against a Jinx, you should ask one of your teammates to stand in the way of the rocket because you will get outsmited a lot and your teammates will flame you because a lot of people don't understand that her Jinxall outsmites junglers and they'll blame you for it. And in a way, it kind of is your fault for not asking someone to block, but it always seems so hard to remember. I always give up my reds, like when my 80 carries are near, because you don't really do much autoing on Fiddlesticks in the late game. Let's see. At this point, we're so far. Actually, we're only like 4k gold ahead. This game doesn't feel very close because we have all these dragons, and I've only died twice, but actually is a little bit close. I'm looking for potentially an ult over this wall. I mean, it's really hard to get one of those. I don't know what happened to her, but I guess we're backing up here. Thought we maybe ended the game on that push, but I guess it's going to be this one. Dragon Soul is spawning. It's a Cloud Soul, which is pretty cool for Fiddlesticks. Gives you that movement speed after you cast your ult, and just more ults in general. Really nice. Where am I standing at? I always want to pay attention to where I'm standing at, how I posture in these team fights. I'm not used to being so pink. Usually, I pretty much always play with a Christmas skin, but some of my viewers like this skin, so we do this too. Oh, okay. Oh, I remember this fight now. Yeah, so they're all here. I see this control ward here. Control wards are your best friend as Fiddlesticks because you know they have no vision there. I see him here, but they're all lined up here. It's sort of like a race against time. Nocturne tries to ult to cancel my my ult because he knows exactly what I want to do, and you can see him stride breaker, but he doesn't ult me in time, and I just get this perfect ult onto 4 people. Oh well, 3 people I guess. I don't get Lilia, but yeah. I don't know, man. Sometimes I'll play this champion and I'm like, oh my god, everybody plays around me so well, like it's so hard to do anything. And then other times we'll have these games, like GM Challenger, whatever elo this is, people just don't play around me at all. But that's it for the video. That is Fiddlesticks. I hope that you guys found this useful. If you did, please like the video. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. I'm going to be making a lot more guides like these. I have fun doing these, and hopefully they're really helpful. Like if I was trying to learn a champion, that's my mindset is to create the most useful thing possible, and that's what this is. So hopefully it's useful for you. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.